So I guess we should probably jump in and explain the strange name of the podcast.
Yeah, everything
And
is Tine.
everything is Tine. We aren't illiterate. We know that that's not how you spell fine.
Just in
Oh,
case you were wondering.
yeah. Just in case you were wondering, if you were concerned.
First off, we've known each other since high school. And like
Oh,
our high
before
school
that.
years, well, yeah, but like this story is from high school. And it's pretty chaotic. I mean, I think our high school experience in general was chaotic, right? You would agree.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. It
we
was. It was
had
certainly a roller coaster.
of just different things, but especially Spirit Week, which was the week where I guess it was for school spirit, but they
That
kind of
is how
let
it
us
was
do whatever.
advertised.
Yeah, but they kind of let us do whatever we wanted to do. So each class had a theme, and ours was cowboys and Indians, right?
Yeah, which preface. Not sure it was a PC event. Now that I think about cowboys and Indians,
Yeah, I don't think it was, but back then we were
no.
just kind of went with it. You kind of just
Yeah,
did
we
what
just
they
had
told you to
to.
do. And actually, it starts with you, right? Because you kind of dragged me into this.
Oh,
So,
great. The way it worked essentially was we were in charge of decorating a room, which you're thinking, you know, so much spirit can be derived from decorating, I guess. So we were in charge, or I was in charge first to go and get some of those like cheap plastic stars that glow in the dark from like Dollar Tree. And neither of us were particularly interested in sticking around at the school or around our classmates for the most part.
yeah,
So,
everyone was mad. And actually, we were running behind on time because it was like due the next day to be judged.
yeah, yeah. That's the other thing. They were judged. So you were judged on your school spirit. It was very strange.
Judged on your
Uh,
Cowboys and Indian school spirit.
oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah, that's really problematic. I didn't think about that till
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. It was a huge other, that's a whole other issue.
So I was in charge of that, and I asked her, "Do you want to come along and like help me get these plastic stars?" And she said, "Sure."
Yeah, I mean, I was like, why not? I mean, like, we were friends, and I was like, yeah, I want to get out of here as fast as I can. I
An
also
exit.
thought it was going to be a normal, like, 5 minute trip down the street to Dollar Tree, which it turns out it wasn't.
We kept being called to go get more things.
Right, but the main thing that gave us the most trouble, like wrapping paper and all that other stuff, it was not hard to find. You just like go to
Yeah,
Walmart, you go and you grab it.
sure.
But then you got a call, right? And you turned to
Uh,
me after this call and you were like, hey, they need tine shavings. And so,
yes.
okay, like another thing about the story, we were supposedly supposed to have a horse the next day in our room.
Hmm.
And so they requested this, like the horse needs it, you should get this. And you said tine shaving, so I didn't question it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I was told. I'm like 72% sure that's what I was told.
Yeah, if you were very confident. You were like, yeah, time shavings, let's go. So, we just assumed like
Hmm.
PetSmart or Petco definitely had to have it.
I want to say we tried Walmart first, multiple Walmarts, and
Yeah, that didn't work. People
never
kept,
found it
yeah, I mean, there were so many employees who just like, yeah, it's in the pet section. Then we'd go to the
fully.
pet section, not sure, didn't find it. And that
Fully.
went on for hours, like literally hours. Just
Yeah.
like Petco after PetSmart after Walmart.
Hmm.
And I think they thought we were messing with them, like, because we're
Yeah.
teenagers, right? And they were like, these stupid teenagers, they're just like trying to mess with us.
In
And
hindsight, I think
so
that is true.
they just like didn't really look for it. And it was just like, go here. And then the one Petco lady, she was like, there's a feed store downtown. And so she directed us
Odd.
downtown, right? And that was a whole other disaster because there was
That,
not a
that
feed store
that was
downtown.
that was the disaster of all disasters, I would say.
Yeah, it was an interesting location. And it was also like 10 or 10:30 at night. It was pitch
It had to
black.
have been, yeah.
Just the weirdest thing.
Mm,
Like only
yeah.
light coming from like the homeless shelter. You're driving
Yeah.
down and then you take like a left and that's where the feed store was supposed to be. It was an experience. You and I both remember that. Like you remember that vividly too, right?
Yeah, just to set it up briefly for people so that they can get sort of visually how it was.
Yeah.
We were told to go downtown in the city where we were. Nothing was open. So why we even thought it would be, I don't understand. But we were clinging on to
Desperate.
hope, I guess.
Desperate.
And we turned the corner, and then I had this old Windows phone with a navigation voice that was of a surfer, like a surfer
Surfer
dude.
dude. Like, yeah, it was atrocious.
Someone was in charge of programming that, I guess. And we turned the corner where it was supposed to be, and my navigation goes, what was the exact phrase? You remember the
It
exact
was
phrase?
you've reached your destination, dude. But
You've
like in a
reached.
very like surfer-esque type of voice. And he sounded
Yeah.
so happy. And I just remember we're sitting here in the car, pitch black, only light coming from the homeless shelter on this like deserted road. And in front
Hmm.
of us we see this feed store that used to be there. It was abandoned. Like all the lettering was gone. There's like marks where the lettering used to be. And I just remember in that moment turning to you and you turned to me and we just burst out laughing. It was
Yeah.
the funniest thing. Like I still remember that to this day. I think
I
that
remember
really
vividly.
marked our friendship is like when all the chaotic stuff just continued happening to us. I think this was like
Yeah, it
one
was
of the
like the
first
the
times.
mark of the beast, but like I guess the mark of chaos on
Yeah, it
us.
was like you guys are destined to have like the most chaotic friendship after this. Like whoever
Definitely.
steps on this abandoned feed store premise is cursed. It was
And it was a lot. Yeah, so I mean that's in general where the name comes from. And if there's any interest in us going into more depth on the story, we can. Spoiler alert, it would just be us kind of talking about how employees continually sent us to locations that either didn't exist or didn't have what we were talking about. And by the way, we were actually looking for pine shavings. Come find out.
simple Google search, but we
Just
didn't think
simple.
of that.
No, no, no. Like we were determined to forge our own path and find something that didn't exist, which, if that isn't on brand, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many other things that occurred that night, including what happened after we got back.
Yeah,
If you want us to go more into depth in that, we certainly can. Definitely be a rant session.
it would be quite a mess, but maybe an enjoyable mess for you to listen to.